How's it going, guys? I hope you guys had a great week. So I'm back today with another video. Today, guys, I'm actually going to give my first impressions on Bleeding Edge. So over the weekend, I actually jumped in and played the closed beta for Bleeding Edge, which started on Friday. I think the actual closed beta originally was supposed to last from Friday the 13th through to very early morning on Monday the 16th, but they actually ended up extending it by 24 hours, which was really cool. And I think that's because there were some server issues on Microsoft's part. But I played the closed beta, and obviously I want to jump in and give my impressions on it. So for those of you that might not know, Bleeding Edge is developed by Ninja Theory. That is the team that brought us Senua's Sacrifice, which was an incredible game. So I was really interested to see what this game was like. It is very much Microsoft's version of Overwatch, but it's a little different in that Overwatch is much more of a ranged multiplayer game, whereas Bleeding Edge is supposed to be a melee based multiplayer game, very similar to it's very similar to Overwatch in the way that its characters are designed and also its art style. So this game is actually coming out quite soon. It's actually coming out on the 24th of March. That's like next week on Tuesday, which is insane. And it is actually going to be available exclusively on the Xbox One, and it will actually retail at $24.99 in the UK. So it's actually really reasonably priced. But I jumped in and played the closed beta today. Got to jump in and try all the different playable characters on offer as well. Got to check out 2 of the game modes available too. There were 3 maps available as well, which I really enjoyed, and obviously I just want to talk about it. So there are actually 11 playable characters in Bleeding Edge that we know of at the moment. I am pretty sure they're going to be adding to that roster, no doubt, either with DLC content or possibly with free updates later on. I don't know if the starting roster is going to be limited to 11 playable characters that we got to see in the beta, or if they're going to have more available when it comes out next week. But of the 11 playable characters, each of the characters fits into 3 very distinct classes. You have the damage class, the support class, and the tank class. There are actually 5 playable characters in the damage class, 3 in support, and 3 in tank. There are 2 game modes that I got to jump in on and check out this weekend as well. There was the objective control mode. This is very much like Capture the Flag. So the aim of it is to work in a team to capture 3 regions or 3 circles on the map, and then obviously as you're capturing these regions and as you hold them and maintain them, you actually rack up points, and it's the first team to 600 points that actually win the match. The second game mode is called Power Collection mode, and that basically is where you again play in a team. This is a team-based multiplayer game, which I really enjoyed, but the objective for Power Collection is to destroy canisters and collect power cells, and then as you collect these power cells, at certain points during the match there will be areas that you can actually then deposit these power cells into. If you kill the enemy and if you kill your opponents, you can then also steal their power cells that they're hoarding as well, and drop those off as well. So it's all about who sort of keeps and maintains and delivers the most power cells ultimately wins the game. There were 3 maps available that I got to jump in and play. Those were Sky Garden, Boneyard, and Aqueducts. I enjoyed all of the 3 maps. I thought they were a pretty decent size in terms of the map. They had nice verticality to them as well, and they were very distinct from each other, so I really enjoyed it. So let's talk a little bit about some of the characters I got to check out. Well, I did try all 11 characters just to sort of see how they played, what their different movesets are. Each of the characters that you play, as I say, they do have a particular class, but then each of those characters will have 3 sub abilities abilities, which are linked to specific button prompts. So I think it's Y and other buttons as well. I forget what they were off the top of my head, but they have 3 sub abilities that are on a recharge. So as you use them, they will recharge, but they recharge actually pretty quickly. So it's about being strategic as to when you use them. You don't want to knock them all off, because then obviously you've got to wait for them to recharge. But you do also have a small attack move as well, which is connected to the square button. And then as you slowly fill up a bar, you then can unleash a superpower, which gives you extra damage or extra defense, or boost your stats, or it can also be used to help your teammates out. So each of the characters were really uniquely designed. I love the art style. I really enjoyed the voice acting for each of the characters. That was fun. And I also really enjoyed each of their sub abilities. They were really, really cool. I want to talk specifically about just a few of the characters that I enjoyed the most. So let's talk about the damage class characters that I jumped in and played on. Well, there were 2 ranged damage class characters that I really enjoyed. Gizmo, who uses a sort of chain gun. I really enjoyed her. I thought she was quite cute. And then she has a really cool super ability where you basically you can choose between 2 super abilities or super moves for each of the characters. But the one that I often used for Gizmo was her mech bear that you can actually then jump into. This had a flamethrower on it and did extra damage as well, and obviously had more health and more armor. So I really enjoyed Gizmo. It was kind of fun to sort of play a ranged character, step back a little bit. You can also lock on and target particular enemies, and I found that really useful to boost the attacks that my allies were doing anyway. So as they were sort of going in and hitting, I was just sort of withering away at them and taking down their health gradually. You then had Maeve. She's also a ranged attacker, but she was really fun. She's basically a witch, like an old grandma witch, and I found her kind of hilarious, particularly some of her super abilities. I think she has one of her superpowers where she actually chants like toil, and trouble, and cauldrons, blah, blah, blah. It was really, really fun. I really enjoyed it. She's got some pretty cool moves. She's got one move which gives her the ability to trap enemies in like a cage, which was kind of cool. So it can be a good way to stop people retreating and to sort of crowd control as well and stop people jumping in and attacking you. That can be quite useful. And she is a magic user, so she actually casts magic and uses this to actually drain the life force of her enemies and debuff her enemies and attack from range. I really, really enjoyed her. I thought she was a really cool character design, and I thought she was kind of hilarious. And then in terms of a melee attacker, there were 2 that I played for the damage class. That was Damon. He's a really cool design character. He's basically your samurai class, and he has some pretty cool melee attack moves. His moves are a lot quicker, his movement's a lot more fluid, but he does rely quite heavily on stealth as well, which was kind of cool. You have this really cool super ability called Shadow Strike, where you go into stealth and you attack. You can attack multiple enemies in it if they go within a particular area when you sort of implement this move. But I really, really enjoyed Damon. I thought he was kind of cool. And then I actually got to jump in and play Nidhogger. He is a melee damage class as well, and he has a really cool looking electric guitar, and he's what I class as a heavy hitter. So he's really slow and you have to really time his attacks well, but Jesus, does he do damage. And he's really good at sort of staggering the enemy, and he has a really cool move, super move, where you kind of riff and you cause this like massive electric kind of shock to go around you, which can stun your enemies and obviously allow your teammates to go in and start wailing on the enemy as they're stunned and locked in this move. But I really enjoyed using Nidhogger. I did a lot of damage with him, and I really, really enjoyed him. And then I also got to jump in and check out Zero Cool, and he's one of the support classes. He drives around a really cool hovercraft, and he has a constant healing beam which he can use to heal enemies, and he can drop down walls to stop people attacking or block people into narrow areas. So each of the characters was really, really fun. I've got to say, initially when I started playing the game, I was kind of frustrated when I was playing it, and I found it really hard initially to get to grips with it because it is very much dependent on your teammates. This is a game where you really have to communicate with your teammates, and you do really benefit from that. If you just go off on your own and you do your own thing and you're just trying to get kills and you don't play the objective, you're not going to survive very long. You really do need to go around with your teammates and work together and sort of have each other's back and really support each other and play the objective. That is how you win. So once I started to get good teammates and once I started to get to grips with each of the playable characters, because every playable character has their own particular role that they have and that they should use in the game, very much like Overwatch. It is very much like Overwatch in that way. So once you get to know your character and you understand what your role is and you use your role effectively while working with your team, that's when the game really starts to shine, and that's when it's a lot of fun. And I found myself just really, really enjoying it. There were a couple of matches that were super close, and I just really enjoyed it, and I definitely enjoyed my time with the game. So of course, let's talk about a little bit about the leveling and also the customization. So there is, obviously you do get XP as you complete each match. You have your own XP in terms of the player that you can increase, and you have your own level in terms of the player, but then each of the characters can actually level up themselves individually. And what's kind of cool when you do die and when you are respawning is you can actually switch between characters in the middle of matches. So that's kind of cool because that allows you to be strategic, because if it's not working, it allows you to pick another character and try a different tactic, try something different, respond to what's going on in the match. And I think that's really, really cool mechanic for them to have, which is really awesome. Of course, you've got the kill cam as well, so you can see who killed you if you do want to get that revenge. But as you level up, you do actually get in-game currency for that, and you also get like parts or material that you can also use to level up as well. In the workshop that we got to see, there were 3 sections that you could customize in. You have mods that you can unlock. Sometimes you'll unlock these mods through leveling up your character. Other times you can actually purchase these mods with parts that you get as you play through. And these mods will give you buffs and strengths. So it'll give you plus 25% damage or plus 20% recharge speed on one of your moves, or movement speed on one of your moves. You can only equip 3 mods at any given time though, so that's kind of cool, because obviously you have to again be really strategic and pick and choose what you want to use, but you can create custom loadouts in terms of your mods that you can switch freely between, so that's kind of cool. Mainly in terms of the customization though, we had boards that you can customize. So obviously you have these like hovercrafts, these hoverboards that you can jump onto to travel around the map a lot quicker, which were really cool and a lot of fun to use. And you can of course customize these boards as well and purchase different designs, different sort of streams behind the board, and you use in-game currency to be able to do that. And then each of the characters as well, we did get to see they all had emotes which you could have. I think there were 3 different emotes that you could unlock that we saw in the closed beta, including of course a dancing emote, which was funny and really good. But I'm sure there's going to be more emotes. But what I was disappointing in was the fact that I didn't see any customizable skins. It would have been really cool to see some customizable skins, to see the different designs and looks that you can create for your character, so you can make it very much your own. So hopefully that will be available in the main game when it is released on the 24th of March. There's no sign in the beta anywhere of any microtransactions or any loot boxes, so that's cool that there is no sign there. But, you know, we don't know what the main game is going to be like. It looks at the moment in the closed beta that you can earn all of that currency in game, and you do earn it pretty quickly as you play each match. So you know, hopefully we're not going to have any microtransactions or anything like that sinking into the game. But it looks pretty good, and I would say at the moment, based on the content I saw in the closed beta, the game was fun. I really enjoyed it, and I would absolutely say it is worth the asking price of $24.99. And yeah, I totally recommend that you do pick it up and check it out if you're looking for another game to play on the Xbox One, or if you've got the Xbox Game Pass, then it will be on the Xbox Game Pass. So, you know, if you're already paying for that, then totally jump in and check it out. And if you would like to play together, you know, feel free to send me a message in the comments. I'll let you know what my handle is on the Xbox One, and yeah, I'd be totally willing to jump in and play a few matches with you. I think that would be really cool, and who knows, maybe we can get like an N17 together or something like that. But anyway, those are generally my thoughts on Bleeding Edge. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Is this a game that you're interested in? Is it your kind of game? Did you actually get to jump in and check out the closed beta this past weekend? Let me know in the comment section below. Hope you guys having a great week anyway. Of course, today PlayStation have officially announced more information on the PlayStation 5, so my next video will absolutely be covering everything that we know about the PlayStation 5, and I'm super hyped to find out more. But anyway, I hope you guys having a great week. Of course, take care, and as always, happy gaming. Bye guys.